Next we will see how to modify a contract. We have made certain contracts during the training session. We will take one of these contracts and modify them and see what are the options available when we are modifying a contract. So let's take the first contract. Modify the contract. You have to be very clear about modification of the contract. We are considering the contract starting date in the modification of any of the contracts. So if the contract is actually started on 21st/12/2020, that means it's not started yet because today is 19th December. So the contract is going to start after 2 days. Once the contract is started, there is a grace period to modify certain details in the contract. This grace period is of 7 days. So let's see this. The contract first starting date is 21/12. So still we have 7 days available to modify the details of the contract. So what details we can modify? You cannot change the lessor and the tenant details for this contract. Other details what you can change in the system is you can change the actual usage type from commercial to residential and any other. You can change the contract starting date and ending date. You can change the amount of the contract also. So let's suppose we are going to change the contract starting and ending date. I'm going to put the starting date maybe not 21, maybe the 1st of January, and this is going to be the 31st of December 2021. So it's 1 year, and maybe I'm going to change the amount also to 55,000. Then I'm going to submit it. Here what I can do is I can just submit this application, read it once and submit it, and this is where the application is now in the pending state. And we are in my inbox you will find the modified tenancy contract lessor approval. So again the application is there again for the approval for both parties, the first party and the second party. Now at the moment the application is there with the first party. What changes we have made here? This was a commercial contract and we were able to change the contract first date, start date, end date, even the amount of the contract also. Now once it is approved by the first party and the second party, once you are doing this, see there is no payment here. So once you are doing this, once you are modifying it and getting the approval from the lessor and the tenant, the application will be approved and the contract will be modified. Now let's take one contract which is actually a residential contract. So the second contract here in the list, we have this as a residential contract. Let's see what are the changes we can do here. When you click the second, when you are going to modify a residential contract, the changes what you can do is you can change the contract start date, end date, and also the amount. Plus you can also change the occupants. The occupants can also be changed for a residential contract. And remember that again what I have stated earlier, that the contract start date will be considered for any modification. So there are 7 days grace period from the start of the contract. Once the grace period is over, you will be only able to modify the occupant details and you will be able to modify the premise numbers. You can change the premise numbers and you can modify the occupant details even after the 7 days grace period is over.